Welcome to the Planning Board meeting of September 16th, 2025 in the Carver Town Hall Meeting Room 4. These proceedings will be videotaped and rebroadcast by Area 58 TV. If we could all please stand for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. We are going to follow the schedule that we did last week and take out of order, if the board will agree to that, the minor modification continuation. All right. Very good. Ms. Stearns?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If this isn't working, I have actually...
It works. Oh.
I don't have a lot to share on the screen, but as the chair said, this is a continued discussion of a minor modification request for Fosdick Road Solar, actually off of Purchase Street. We brought to the board's attention that the SMART regulations have recently been amended to require battery storage, and as part of the issued decision for this project, a minor modification request is required for that, now that the project is required to include a storage system. So at the last meeting, we were asked to provide a few more items for the board's review, and that was submitted late last week by Weston and Sampson, who we are partnering with these projects. And essentially what was sent over for the board's consideration were two things. A brief memo outlining the addition of an 18-inch high earthen berm around the equipment pad where the battery is proposed, as well as confirmation that it is outside of 100 feet from the nearest cranberry bog on site, which it is. A small exhibit was included, I think it's on the back of your sheet, and then a confirmation via email with the applicant and Deputy Assistant Chief Boyle at Carver Fire that the roadways that are existing and proposed as part of the solar project that's been approved are still sufficient even with the energy storage system, which he did confirm that in his email, and as well as the agreement that, I'll just turn to my notes here, the containment system that is proposed as part of this project is sufficient through the fire department standards, which he did concur as well. One thing that we did talk about at our last meeting is that the fire department, kind of representing public safety in the town of Carver, has asked for more information to be worked out with them closer to the building permit application process. Sometimes that can be several months or years from this point, and as we know, the technology in this field is changing extremely rapidly, so they have taken the stance that they want to talk to the applicant and developer when it comes time for building permit applications and really hone in and refine the details and make sure everything is code compliant with the current codes and equipment and whatnot. So as far as what's proposed today, it sounds like it meets Carver Fire's requirements, and the applicant continues to commit to working with them as the project proceeds and goes to the next phase. All of that is still, valid in the existing decision, so we just reiterate that that's still the plan here. So we're happy to take any questions. If I didn't say it, Sarah Stearns for the record, Beals and Thomas, and representing the applicant, Tom Melcan with Renewable Energy Development Partners.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Ms. Stearns. I've noted that it's well outside the 100-foot boundary and that you're putting in the 18-inch berm?
Yes.
Excellent.
One thing I wanted to note too is that Weston and Sampson submitted an exhibit with the commitment to submitting a full revised site plan, stamp site plan after our discussion tonight, but we just, because of the quick turnaround with last week's meeting, we wanted to get an exhibit to you for our discussion tonight. Certainly happy to abide by a condition that would require final plans to be sent over to the board through the planning office.
Does anyone else on the board have any questions?
I do not. It looks like that they have met the requirements that were asked of them.
Appears they have. Mr. Lake, are you all set?
I'm all set, yeah.
Questions? Could I get a motion?
I will make a motion to go forward on voting for Fosdick Road Solar.
No, I'm sorry, this isn't the public hearing. Vote to approve?
Correct.
I will second that.
Mr. Lake?
Says aye.
Kevin Robinson says aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sodillo says aye.
Mary Lynn Williams says aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for continuing this for 1 week. We appreciate the timeline.
Thank you. Have a good night. Next on the agenda this evening, we have a public hearing continued, which is Article 8, amend the Carver zoning bylaw, Section 290-2-2.3, use regulation schedule, to see if the town will vote to amend the Carver zoning bylaw, Section 290-2-2.3, use regulation schedule as shown below, with additions shown in bold and deletions shown in strike-through, to allow earth removal as a permitted use in the Green Business Park zoning district, or take any other action related thereto. Hello there.
All right, hi. There were some questions that, yes.
Would you please introduce yourself?
Savory Moore, 12 South Main Street, Vice Chair of the Redevelopment Authority. There were some issues that Mr. Shea brought up at the meeting last week, and I think there were some things that he was going to look into to address so that we can continue with what we wanted to say.
Okay, very good. Before he starts, Mr. Moore, it's very concerning to me that the article that was presented to the Select Board differed from the article that we saw on our agenda, and I don't know whose responsibility it was that drafted the informational summary that accused the planning board of costing $4 to $5 million in unrealized tax revenue, and blaming the planning board for that, and such a incredible amount of money, a cost to the town. Where did that come from? Because the RDA presented it.
That's right.
And is that, you have any facts on that? Because I consider it an insult to this entire board, whether it past or present.
When we were working on it, and the plan was the urban renewal plan, it comes from the urban renewal plan that is telling us that the development would bring unrealized tax revenue to the town to the tune of $4 to $5 million. We didn't make it up. It's there in the urban renewal plan.
But what you're saying is that it's there, so you're making the assumption that it's the fault of the planning board?
No.
Because that's what it says there.
It was delayed. It's being delayed by the planning board.
Delayed, okay.
The actual urban renewal, actually the plan today and the project itself is stalled.
I wouldn't say it's on behalf of the planning board now, because it's obviously gone to litigation. What's frustrating is the developer understands that they have to submit a plan, which they have not done yet. And I just think it's very unfair at a public meeting to accuse the planning board for these delays when in fact that particular developer did not do and follow the proper protocol. And we would be, as Mr. Shea said at the last meeting, we all want this project. We all want, it's not, we're not against it, but we just ask the developer to submit the proper plan so that we can make the determination and issue a special permit. But to go around it and try to change our zoning bylaw just because they don't want to do it correctly, that's very unfair to ask of the town to do that.
Do you consider that to be?
Well, I guess the question that I have in this situation is, if he were to submit a site plan of something that is just, in effect, made up, because he has no tenant, no potential use.
But he had said at a prior meeting, that he did have potential buyers.
Potential, yes,
Yeah.
but but the potential buyer is probably not going to purchase the property unless it's pad ready. So in order for the developer to get it pad ready, he's going to have to come up with a site plan that may or may not be what's going to happen down the road. And he may have to come back to planning for either a minor or a major modification
Yeah.
to that site plan.
Right.
Which we understand, and that could be another avenue. But, our opinion, and we've been kind of watching all the back and forth, is that it just further delays getting something built there if he has to, and it costs the developer money for something that in effect is not going to be.
How is this developer any different than any other developer in this town that has to follow the zoning bylaws? I don't understand why we are trying to change the zoning bylaws to accommodate someone when in fact we have other areas in town that they have to adhere to the zoning bylaws. So I don't understand why we would try to do it this way and he wouldn't want to do it the correct way.
My answer to that is that when this zoning bylaw was enacted and the Green Business Park was put as a no for earth removal, it was a smaller area that was much more contaminated soil, which was most likely the reason. I believe Stephen was our planning director at the time.
Yeah.
I was part of the group that kind of worked on these bylaws, and it was at the time there was quite a bit of contamination there, and we were aware of it, and
Right.
that was a red flag for removing the soil. Now the parcel itself is larger, and the contamination, according to the DEP, is been mitigated, and the PFAS has been capped with current state-of-the-art technology that exists for that, and is on a completely different side of the parcel where this work is going to be done. So I don't think that, my feeling is that we want to change the zoning bylaw because it's a little bit irrelevant now to what it was when it was enacted 6 or 7 years ago.
But it was also stated that you wanted to change it because it states primary use for the earth removal, correct? So I just want to be clear that this isn't his intention to be a primary use.
I know, and there are quite a number of things here. I mean, it's not allowed as a primary use, and he is making the case that it's not a primary use. It's to get the property ready for its primary use. That's one of his arguments.
Okay.
But I think from an overall standpoint, it's the fact that this property has been cleaned up, and the reasons that the zoning bylaw said no to earth removal 7 or 8 years ago, 6, 7, whatever it was that this was enacted, those conditions no longer exist.
All right. Are you aware that at the last meeting we had with that particular developer, we were advised by town council not to vote on that particular presentation that he made? And that's why we're in litigation right now?
No, I was not aware of that.
Okay.
I believe the statement was it wasn't within the powers of the planning board without a site plan.
Correct, yes.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is that?
It wasn't within the power of the planning board to approve that without a site plan.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And that came from town council. So,
Okay.
they advised us, and we are where we are right now with that developer, unfortunately. But I find that in an attempt to change the zoning bylaw, so many accusations are being made against this board, which I think are unfair, unjust, and they're not even truthful. I mean, you say that we're at an impasse, or they're at an impasse with us, and I don't think that that's the case. I think they didn't like how we voted, and so they tried to then take it to the courts. You know, this is no different than any other project, any other commercial or industrial project that's in town.
Well, there have been, different attorneys who have had different opinions on this. That is part of the impasse, and the fact that the developer's lawyer says one thing, the town lawyer says another thing. A third lawyer was asked sort of as a tiebreaker and agreed with the developer, but that didn't seem to make a difference, which is fine. But, that took meeting after meeting after meeting to get through. I think there was a meeting in March of 2024 when the developer's lawyer first came here. I was at that meeting. And that's, we're coming up on a year and a half since that first meeting regarding this. It just seems to us in the redevelopment authority that we've worked awfully hard on this, and to see it in effect stall with the planning board for.
It's not with the planning board.
Well-
It's not. We have respectfully requested that he submit the site plan.
I understand that, and he's reluctant to do that. So,
Correct.
but
So instead, he's not
you know,
getting his way, so he wants the town to change the zoning bylaws for his benefit.
We want to.
Well, it's-
We want the town to.
It's
The RDA is putting this forward to change.
because the RDA is working with the developer, right?
The RDA
And I understand that, because we want commercial, we want industrial growth, we want to bring in the tax revenue.
Yes.
But we can't allow a developer to come in and try to change our zoning bylaws just so that they can make some sort of, profit from this. Yes, we would like the tax revenue, but every other developer that comes into this town has to follow the letter of the law.
Okay, granted, but if he comes in with a site review plan for that lot,
Yeah. We all welcome that.
and it's approved,
Yeah,
then he's going to remove the soil and sell it anyway.
right. Well,
So-
then,
Well, I might say that unless he gets approval through
Excuse me, could you
MIPA.
just talk a little louder for me? I have
Okay,
very-
I'm sorry. MIPA anticipates that all the soil will be used on site, and I think that the planning board is more than likely to follow what the MIPA guidelines are in regards to fill required is over 1 million cubic yards. They're expecting 355,000 cubic yards to be cut from the site and to be used. It is anticipated by MIPA, and I'm guessing that it's anticipated by the town and everybody involved in this, that all cut will be used on site, and that's part of what the issue is. And I will say that the urban renewal was clearly and definitively outlined from the beginning. This isn't land that was added to the urban renewal plan. It may have been acquired by the developer afterwards, but it is clearly, the urban renewal plan is clearly and ultimately defined by MIPA and the plan.
That's a different word than you, in all due respect, that's a different word than you used last week.
In what
Last
sense?
week you said it was mandated that the earth could not be removed. You just said
It says
anticipated.
it is, and that's what, and as far
I
as,
anticipated being a millionaire. Didn't happen.
and as far as the Secretary of Environmental Affairs and Energy and Environmental Affairs is concerned, as far as everybody is concerned, it's clearly written in black and white that it is anticipated that all cut will be used on-site. As a matter of fact, the last time a site plan came in regards to this particular property, it was one of the requirements of the planning board that the cut and fill be redistributed on-site.
Anticipating is different than mandating.
Well,
That's a different word.
if the government that approved this, which wasn't us, is anticipating it, then you can take it up with them,
It's
because,
anticipating based on the plan that was approved.
well,
This
get
is
them to
where-
say
this
that
is
it's
where-
okay. Have them send us a
This is
letter.
where it says anticipating, and if you go to the page right before that, and the sentence just above that chart, it says, "These numbers are subject to change as the site design process progresses based on geotechnical recommendations and potential tenant needs."
Which is fantastic, but we haven't received anything that says that the original plan has changed, because we haven't received a site plan.
But it says anticipated, not mandated.
And we're
you said
anticipating.
mandated last week.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if the federal government, if the state and MIPA anticipates that will be used on site, unless they reconfigure those numbers or change their statement, I am feeling, because we are not the sole judge, jury, and executioner on this. We're like third tier on this. We're not even close to it. The state says that all cut will be used on site, and as far as I'm concerned, and that's the quote, "It is anticipated that all cut will be used on site," because that was the statement that was given to them.
Then can you
Well,
interpret that particular sentence?
But
I
anticipate does
just,
not
I
mean
just
mandate.
did. Well, then tell MIPA that the anticipates has changed and that you want to sell it, and if they approve it, then it's not going to be a problem with us. It's
Nowhere
the
in
bottom
here
line.
does it say anything about earth going out of the property, other than anticipated that it's used in here, on the property.
Then what's the issue? Because the applicant said that he anticipated selling it off.
Yes,
That's-
but nowhere in here does it forbid that. Selling the property and moving.
And nowhere in there does it approve it. As a matter of fact, it specifically says it is anticipated that all cut will be used on site.
I think that
And
you're
the numbers are...
misconstruing what anticipate means.
Yeah.
Well, right. I anticipate that I'm going to wake up in the morning, but that's not going to happen. That might not happen either, you know? We all have anticipations, but when the state anticipates something's going to be done, I don't believe that we are the people that are going to change their mind. Our board isn't. We're going to follow what we were told to follow.
I
Again, this is
do respect
not...
that. Totally disagree with that as an argument.
All right.
I
Well-
don't think it rises and falls on that one word anyway. I mean, in the sentence it says anticipated, the sentence is part of a document. The overall sense of the document is where the mandate comes from. That's what I would say. I'm not an attorney, but I've done an awful lot of interpretation of the text.
If it was mandated, it would have said mandate instead of anticipate.
No, my point is that the document itself is the mandate. Unless the document itself is changed, unless some change is made, like a new site plan, then that's...
But it clearly states that things can change based on needs.
But there's a process for that change, and we're asking to do that, that's all.
Well, all right, I disagree with that reasoning.
And I will stand by all my previous statements. Maybe I misspoke by saying mandated, but I take it as a mandate because the approval process was based on this anticipation. Also, I do take umbrage in the informational statement. I feel it is total falsification of the facts, and that it is being used for propaganda to sway the votes at town meeting, and I think it's more than inappropriate.
I apologize for that language, and it is unfair. That I will give you.
But other than that, I think the reasons that it was put for no was because, originally, was because of the concerns over abuse, and they wanted to make sure the project got done, and that, and I know the applicant has invested heavily in this, but I also know that the town's concerns with stripping the land down and then filing for bankruptcy and moving on were always a concern. It's been brought up in the public hearings in regards to this property also. I think it would not be in the best interest of this town to change it, and as it it can't possibly be the primary use of the property. It would be irrelevant in regards to this change in the bylaws, because the primary usage of this property is currently as a commercial industrial subdivision or a green business park. So I don't think that this would, unless you're going to change the primary use of the property to this, then it wouldn't make a difference. And quite frankly, I just, I can't agree with it. Thank you.
Ms. Layton, I have a question for you.
Just to talk up, my hearing aids, I just went ahead and checked again, and it sounds like everybody's mumbling, and I apologize to Mr. Shea, it's hard for me. That's why I have to hurry home whenever this comes
No
to be a
problem.
video.
I apologize. I'm not
That's
a
okay.
very loud talker.
I know, you're very quiet.
So my question for you is, at the Select Board meeting, you talked about a private meeting that you had with the town administrator, a member of the Select Board, yourself, and a Mr. Martin.
That's correct.
And so you talked about that, and your final quote on that was that the end result is that the earth can be taken out. Did you mean to say that, or did you mean to clarify that you thought it was clean soil?
Mr. Martins, in the presentation, had the picture, and that's there, you have that also. And what he was telling us, that ACO, the administrative consent order, it had these various areas that where were we going to be taking the dirt out? And it was way up here. And it was a long distance, maybe a quarter of a mile away. It's really far. And so Mr. Martin said that that would not be a problem. There's nothing wrong with that dirt up there. It's far away. This is the area that the contamination was concerned about, and probably still is to some extent.
Is that normal to have a private meeting like that about a project like this?
I inquired to Sarah Hewins, who was on the planning board in those early days.
Okay,
And actually, she was the conservation agent.
okay.
And I asked her specifically, I said, well, you know, what's the story with this, you know? And she said, well, it's contaminated. And I said, well, can you show me, who's the person involved? And she said it was, I remember, it was Gerard Martin. And I said, well, can you write a letter or something to him and so forth and so on? And she did. And it was arranged. And and Mr. Martins arranged the meeting himself.
Okay.
He created this team.
Okay,
And we all attended to it.
okay.
And I don't have that recording to prove to you. You're going to have to listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I believe that. I listened to the Select Board meeting. I was a little puzzled as to why that there was a private meeting and/or team created to have that discussion.
Yeah.
And the end comment was, the result was the earth can be taken out. So I don't understand why that wasn't done in more of a public setting.
Well, I had a question. Well, you know, we're working towards getting this project completed. And as you're hearing us say, it's at a standstill. And it's been this way for actually a year and a half, and it's time to get it going. And so I'm digging, and I'm going back, and I'm going back, and I'm trying to get all information to bring it forward. You're all brand new, other than Mr. Shea. Well, Mr. Robinson is the person who is all, as I'm saying this, he should be able to probably relate to maybe even Mr. Martins.
We're all brand
you
new
actually
as far as the
signed that.
planning board is concerned, but I've lived here my entire life, so I'm a little knowledgeable as to what's going on in town, although I may not have served on a board. So yes, you are correct, and Mr. Robinson has been on this particular board, but it's not like I don't have any knowledge of what's going on in that area, and I don't pay attention to what happens in town. I just think that in this particular situation, we all want this project to be successful, but we don't understand why this particular developer is trying to work with you to make present the article to go on the warrant
This was
to
our-
change our bylaw.
That has nothing to do with Route 44. This was our membership We looked at it, we took all the evidence that that was in front of us, and we said if we change that because of the contamination, and we realize now it's different, that area to take down that hill, maybe he should have, maybe he should have taken it down 3-4 years ago, or 17, and that, for whatever reason, he did not do it. I don't really know. I do know, and I will tell you this, that the Tushes, who lived in the very first part of that hill, after he sold that property, or after they closed on their property, she wanted to stay there also a longer time. And she wanted more time to look for another house and so forth and so on. Was some of that part of it? The other part, that's probably why he didn't take down the hill, is Mr. Borowski didn't want to settle for that kind of money that it was initially told. And they were back and forth. And Mr. Borowski didn't really close. He closed, it was $800,000, and it was in 2021. So there was quite a gap of time that had gone by. So that hill probably just kind of was, they were so busy doing some of the other things on the property. I don't know exactly, well, Hillwood came, so that kind of was disturbance right there. Mr. Hill, you know of that, and then they left about that time.
Okay.
Based on all of that, I can't tell you why he didn't initially do it. According to the FEIR, yes, that should have been taken down. Because what he read to you, well, there was three trade distributions, right? The one way on the right, which is closest to Montello, that's where that cut was. Now, he didn't read it to you, but you want to read that other part?
I don't think it's relevant, actually.
Okay. Well, it does say, the sentence before that says that particular trade distribution, C, has to have cut. And let me just read it. Would you mind?
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay. It says the southeast corner of development associated with proposed building C, that's the one way on the right, will require the largest cut on the site of approximately 38 feet. Now that rings a bell because when that map that Route 44 gave you, I believe the cut was red and it was 35 feet. So that tells us right there that would be that hill. This is an area containing a large knob that provided a buffer between the sand and gravel operations and the existing residential properties off Montello Street. At this stage of the schematic grading design, finished floor elevations, and it tells you the floor elevations, and et cetera. And then the next table that shows the earthwork volumes, and Mr. Shea read that. And then, of course, Sayre also read that last line. It says, these numbers are subject to change as the site design process progresses based on geotechnical recommendations and potential tenant needs. Now, today, the potential tenant need is to be pad ready. They don't want to drive into that site.
But there are no tenants, right?
Excuse me?
But there aren't any tenants or buyers, right? Yeah? There aren't any tenants or buyers, correct?
I don't know specifically. I think he may have them.
Potential,
Yeah,
nothing certain.
I don't know.
So we don't know if that's what somebody needs, is something pad ready at the moment. He just wants it pad ready, right?
Oh, no, I'm sure he was told it already. As he's been interviewing people, I'm sure he's been told that they just want to drive in and have that site flat. That's today's standards, as you will know, not up on a hill. And if I could just bring something up, if you don't mind. One of those video, or I think I was present at that meeting, and I believe Mr. Gasky, who's not on the committee anymore, made a reference to leaving the dirt there, and also made a reference to a hill. because he said he grew up in New York or wherever it was, and there was businesses on a hill. So he kind of made that as a reference. But today, that's not the way it's going to go down. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, and I do remember him suggesting that we meet somewhere in the middle, rather than the developer stating that they wanted to take out so much material, and he said, well, why can't you elevate a little bit more in other areas if you want to bring something
Right,
down?
right.
So that's what he...
totally different today
Right.
as we're speaking now.
Right. But I understand this is to present an article to be put on the warrant, and we're going to leave it up to the townspeople to vote on it at town meeting.
Just to set the record straight, and I think that you can look at our meeting probably from either August or July, putting this article on the warrant was my idea.
Okay.
And we told George about it after we had voted on it.
Okay.
He was-
Well, thank you.
He was not aware of it. This was my idea to try to do something to
Get it going.
To move it along.
to change the,
Yes, Mr. Bott?
I just a couple informational things. The discussion they had with Mr. Martins, it's not unusual for the town staff and perhaps even a board member to have a conversation with some state agency about clarification. A couple years ago, Connie and I were on the call with MIPA and about Green Business Park. So it's not unusual to have a meeting like that with the staff level and perhaps a board member with the state agency. So I don't want to get anybody the impression it was a private meeting and something was untoward. And I think the team was actually Microsoft Teams we're talking about. I don't think they made a team. I think the meeting was held on Microsoft
I was
Teams.
just using her words.
Okay, I'm just,
Well,
yeah.
he called it that.
Yeah, so I'm just clarifying that there's nothing untoward about the staff in Falmouth or any town talking to a state regulator about clarification or something like that.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I just find it to be a little unusual for those particular members to get together and perhaps not include other members of different boards which may have input on this and have to make a determination on it. When you only pick one over here and one over there, maybe someone from earth removal, maybe someone from the planning board. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah, the emails we had about it between town administrator, myself, Sarah Hewins, and Joanna.
Yep,
So.
very good. You weren't mentioned in that meeting, so
No,
that's why.
I was scheduled for the first meeting.
Okay.
But wasn't able to make the rescheduled meeting.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Nothing untoward. Just want to make sure people are clear on that.
Understood.
But would a private developer be included in that conversation? Excuse me?
We haven't opened it up to the public yet, I'm sorry. Anyone else on the board have any questions?
No, I think we've been over this in depth.
All right. So, if no one
Madam
else...
Chairman, may I ask you tonight to take a vote for that, on that warrant article?
Oh, we will be taking a vote, yes, yes. We are going to open this up to the public if we don't have any other, yep.
No, but there was one other thing. Based on the timing on the warrant and things like that, I don't know that I'm fully familiar with the informational summary.
It did not make it to the warrant.
Well, I just wanted to say, if there is something different in that informational summary, did you write that, Sabra?
I believe I wrote the first one, yes.
Yeah, so if you've got a second version of the informational summary that you want to send to me,
It differed, yes,
Okay.
because it was removed. The statement that reads, "There has been an impasse between the property owner and the planning board over this issue for the past 3 years, which has cost Carver approximately $4 to $5 million in unrealized tax revenue."
That was the original one?
That was the original
Okay.
draft.
What does it read now?
It states the same, but it omits that paragraph.
It omits the paragraph?
What
It has-
Are you
do you mind
saying
me
what's on
asking, what does it currently state?
Excuse me, are you saying what's up there now?
No, the
Does not
info-
have the informational summary.
That is correct, but this version did. This was the first version that went in front of the select board.
So might I ask what it currently states?
Changing this bylaw will allow earth removal without a special permit, thereby allowing the developer to make the proposed lots, quote, "pad-ready," knocking off 1 to 2 years of delays and bringing commercial business and tax dollars to Carver.
That's inaccurate also. Unless they change the usage of this, the main use of this property, it's ineffectual. So that information is, again,
Can I
I would
ask a
agree.
question?
Yes.
I think I have the same issue. I went upstairs to the select board, and I asked Shelby if she'd give me a copy of all the articles that they were going to discuss.
Yeah.
Not tonight, but when they first did it.
Yeah.
And the article that I sent to them, the only thing different, it was they put in select board. Rationale behind that is that we don't submit, they would have to submit it.
Right.
So they did do that. But the informational summary, and then she added proposed motion, that was it. And it said recommendation for select board, and I'm assuming tonight, if you
So
voted, it
are
would
you
say-
saying you're uncertain as to where this came from?
No, I don't understand why they didn't follow through and give you this whole thing.
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking.
I would
I
guess
don't-
because it was patently false and offensive.
Probably.
Excuse me, I didn't,
It was false.
say, I'm sorry.
I believe it was patently false and offensive, and I believe that,
False? What? I don't
It's not
It was
true.
accusatory.
It is.
False.
What's, okay,
About the planning board.
okay.
My thing with the holdups would be, where's the water coming from? That's your biggest holdup. We're not your holdup. You're not looking,
Geez, you know, that might be the next piece that we gotta work on.
right? Because that's your biggest holdup as I see it right now. The
But we
planning board
need this
hasn't
one
held up.
first.
That's
We
putting
really
the cart
do.
before
We
the
need to-
horse.
We can't move it up.
No, you can't move forward without water. You can move forward without this.
No, if you could put something on that property that doesn't require water, could you?
You
Maybe
tell me
cemetery.
what?
A solar farm? I'm
Even
just
then you'd have to
using-
water the grass.
Solar
too.
farm's not allowed.
I'm just using that
That's
as an
okay.
example.
Yeah.
Even the cemetery, you have to water the lawn.
AstroTurf.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Zippers in,
All right, does anyone else on the board have any comments or questions before I open this up to the public?
Oh.
No? No? Would anyone from the public like to speak?
This is where it's signed.
Yes, the sign in right there, Patty.
I'm gonna bring like a stamp from now on, so I can
Make it
just.
streamlined, so easier.
It's gotta have a sunflower on it, though.
Yeah.
I do, I love sunflowers. Patty Cooney, 5 Canterbury Path. So, as I hear more and more of this, there's just so many different things. One, the meeting that people are having, I get, like, the town planner had said that there's been meetings like that, but not with a developer, and then just certain people. It was Connie Shea, him, and a state organization that's very different than.
Like 5 state organizations, yes. They were like 5 representatives from the state.
Yeah, so that's very different than a developer and a couple people, specific people from different parts of the thing that, all of a sudden just decide, oh yeah, no, we're definitely gonna move forward with the earth removal. That's very, very shifty to me, honestly.
Keep your comments.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So that's one thing. I'm still concerned with the fact, like you said, we have no water. There's no decision of what's actually coming in there, and you're opening it up. So the town meetings, I've been to them for the last 4 or 5 years. It's very hard to get people to come to these. It is on school vacation when most of the townspeople are not around. So that's concerning because there's a specific group of people that generally make it to the meetings, and it's generally the people that are encouraging whatever to get pushed through. So that makes me very nervous. because I've watched it happen over and over again. You get, 100 extra people come for one specific thing and push it through, and then everybody else, once it happens, then they're like, I didn't even know this was happening. What's going on? Because they can't come to a town meeting for 2 nights. There needs to be some way that more of the townspeople that aren't directly involved with these issues, specifically that are going to make money from the issues potentially, are able to make it to these meetings. Like, that's really messed up, where you have a town full of 11,000 people and like 300 people show up. Because half the people don't even know about it. And then, it's very concerning. I live in this town, I've grown up just like you, and I've seen things. I haven't been around the political side of this very much, but it is very dicey in my mind, honestly.
Unfortunately, it's not a problem you need to cover, I'm afraid. It's a spatial problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem everywhere, but that's what I would love to try to figure out a better way of getting more regular people that, for me to get here, I was racing around doing everything trying to get here. And people just can't get here half the time. I don't know if there's a way of getting meetings. We did Zoom meetings for, 2 years, 2 or 3 years when we did COVID stuff. Why can't we do that and have people vote at home? Because me being a mom, I got a bunch of kids, I'm making dinner. If I can watch this and communicate through, Zoom to have my voice heard, isn't that what it's supposed to be about, having your voice heard? And technology is here. Why can't we figure something like that out? Because I bet if you had it like that and we publicized it, that, hey, you need to hear about this stuff. These zoning things are huge change. This guy, the gentleman from the campground wants to change a zoning thing. So now, you're going to tell him, no, but this guy can get it. I get you're going to pass it on to the town to do, and that's cool, but I just think it's such a small group of people that make it to these town meetings that there's a complete discrepancy between actual people that live in the town versus the people that have the time and don't have to get up at the butt crack of dawn to go to work. Because I sure as heck know that most of the people I know can't stay out at a town meeting till 11 o'clock and get up the next morning and go to work. And that's the working class part of people in this town. So there's a lot of stuff. And
Probably beyond the ken of the planning board to deal with the structure and media of the meetings.
Yeah.
But I do agree for what it's worth.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is there something that anybody can brainstorm that can give me guidance to figure out a way to potentially move this forward?
Unfortunately, I don't have any answers
Yeah.
for you concerning that, but perhaps that's something Mr. Bott could help us with. If there's any potential openings for something like that again, any Zoom meetings, but right now, this one will be heard at the special town meeting on
Yeah.
October 7th, and we hope people come out,
Yeah.
for
is
these
there-
matters.
Yeah, because that's my main thing, like the voting thing. Is there a way to do like an early vote so people?
No, no.
Yeah, see, that's where that's like you said, the people that need to get here for these meetings get there, but the people that are kind of off doing, just keeping up daily life, they can't get to these things, and then.
I get up in the morning and we got to suck it up, basically,
Yeah.
11 o'clock. Put the coffee pot on at the time,
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, I know, I just wish more people were like that, though.
agreed.
Good point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty.
Karen Lapham, Plymouth Street. Karen Lapham, Plymouth Street. I just wanted to say that it bothers me that we keep trying to make it sound like the Hillwood project left the town because of the town and the board, when they clearly put a statement out. They left for financial reasons. If I was a person not knowing the whole scenario behind that, I might misconstrue and say, oh, the town already blew it with one business going in there. And I feel like I apologize when Joanna read that statement about why they left. It's wrong. It's not. They didn't leave because of the town. They left because of their own financial problems. That's why they left their Middleborough project too. So I don't like it when we kind of like shift a reasoning to something else. That was why they left. That was in the paper, they made a statement, so it wasn't the town. And I wish that more boards would come together and worry about our water issue than to worry about if we're gonna put a business someplace where we have a huge contamination problem. That should be really the biggest issue we could be concerned about, rather than he builds something or removes something. His original project didn't say he was moving dirt, but now he wants to get on that train. He never even let the people that were the abutting neighbors in the town of Plimpton know that he was having a meeting with the town. That's concerning. I feel he's a businessman and I get it, but I don't feel like he's concerned about the people that live here in this town. He already said we don't even have a water problem, we do. And he had no concern for the neighbors that live next door. I just hope that we can continue to go slow and go conscientious and pay attention to what it is that he wants to build. I'm all for someone building something, but let's stop changing stuff and build it the right way and stop screaming, I got notes from some company or some guy. Why don't we all just start putting all our paperwork together and say, nope, this board said that, the EPA said this, we all submit it together at the same time. So I just want us to be careful, please. Thank you. I don't like the Middleborough water line I have.
Thank you, Karen.
What did she say?
Would anybody else in the public like to speak tonight? No? Oh.
Hello.
Hi there.
Brian Newt from Pine City Road. And I just wanted to voice my concern about the fact that, like, I know the area pretty well. I've gone out, tried to hunt out there, and even just walking out there, it's pretty wet. And it's very low already. And if they start stripping that land, that water's just gonna come over here to where they strip it out. That's how gravity works. And then they'll back out because they won't be able to build at all. I'm surprised they can even build out there. It's so wet. And just the fact that if they're gonna bring stuff in, what are they bringing in? Do we know? Is it gonna be some cleanup sludge from some Superfund? That's gonna be good. You know, we've already blown a chance to sell water and get water moving in that area. I don't think that it's a good idea to let anybody mine something, especially so low. How dare the state even allow it when I have to put up a silt fence and hay bales and stuff because of a puddle that might be a vernal pool? We don't know. You know, gotta protect those mosquitoes. So that's about it, really. I mean, the other things are obvious, but my big thing is there's already a lot of water out there. Where they're gonna mine from is just gonna bring the area lower, and it's already low enough. So, thank you very much.
For what it's worth, I believe the board did ask him why the fill couldn't be redistributed on site. That was one of the things to get.
That's the biggest thing, you know, because that's logical building, is use what you have right there.
I'm not characterizing the answer, the question has been raised, and it is something that we've thought about. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay, Patty Cooney once again. So he said, the developer did say in the last meeting that they're pulling that because they need money to continue funding this project. Isn't that what he said? Or am I just totally insane?
I don't remember that comment.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat a dead horse. May I ask
Yeah.
one more question?
Sure.
Thank you.
Tell me who you are.
Oh, yes.
Savory Moore, Vice Chair of the Redevelopment Authority. Mr. Shea, you mentioned earlier something about primary use, about earth removal as a primary use.
Isn't that what the usage chart is?
Yes, but that's not what the earth is being removed as. The earth is being removed to create property that can go to the primary use, which is a green business park.
Which I understand, but the usage chart is earth removal allowed as a primary use in the RA district? Yes. In the general business, yes. In the village, no. In the green business park, yes. And that's what that chart states. It's, what, is it allowed as a primary use in these areas?
If I may just clarify, it's permitted use,
Thank you.
not primary use.
Permitted.
Permitted use.
It was stated at the meeting, primary.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. No, I understand that, yeah.
Just trying to dive loose ends over here.
I appreciate that, yes. I was
Text is
just
permitted
taking,
use. I'm sorry.
I was just taking the verbiage from that particular meeting and making notes.
I'm with
So-
The text of the paragraph says permitted use, but the matrix says principal use. Permitted, principal, primary?
Yeah,
Yeah, the zoning matrix says
Oh, my.
principal use.
right,
Not permitted, principal use, which is first.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not what,
I was using language that was stated at the select board meeting.
no, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
what, you know, Mr. Bott said permitted, but the
Right.
chart says
Principal.
principal, and that's two different things.
Different, correct, yeah.
Okay.
All right, if there's no further comments from the public this evening, could we close the public hearing?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Very good. Is there any further discussion from the board?
I think we covered it all.
No? Can I get a motion?
So we got a motion and a second. We need a vote to close the hearing.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. There's no further discussion from the board,
Correct. So,
and looking to a vote.
to close the hearing.
Yes, to
Great.
close the hearing. Mr. Lake?
Says aye.
Kevin Robinson says aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sedillo says aye.
Mary Ellen Williams says aye.
So next is a motion whether the board wants to make a favorable recommendation or
Correct.
an unfavorable recommendation to town meeting for Article 8.
I will make that said motion
Well,
For,
You have to,
to endorse it.
so is your motion...
Favorable
Mr.
or
Robinson,
unfavorable?
Favorable action at town meeting?
Favorable action at town meeting.
do I have a second?
I don't know.
No second?
No second.
All right, is there another motion?
I'll make a motion for unfavorable recommendation at town meeting.
A second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Lake?
We can open it up for discussion, right?
Oh, do you want to further discuss
I
it?
think the word permitted should be changed to
Principal?
yes,
Okay.
as appropriate. Other than that, well, the issues were brought up. There's a far greater oversight in regards to this property than we're allowed to it, and it raises a vulnerability to the town itself and the future development of this area to approve this. And without the proper oversight and the review by the agencies, MIPA, DEP, and various other agencies, we don't know what effect this kind of allowance would have on the surface or groundwater.
I would agree. Mr. Bott, did you hear him about the change?
I did, but I do not see, looking at the zoning chart, where there is any discussion of principal use in the chart. Why is a permitted use? I don't see anything that relates to a principal use in the zoning. That's why it says permitted use to the...
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If I may, so the use regulation schedule in the header says principal use at the top of the left-hand column.
Oh, okay, I see where you're at over there. And whether that principal use is allowed by as a permitted use or not allowed or a special permit, that's where I was coming from, so I see where you're at now. Okay.
Yeah, but I think principal and permitted are two different things.
The principal use is permitted or is not permitted.
Well, granted.
All right,
This is primary.
so.
Very good.
Do we have a vote?
We don't have a vote yet. Do we have any further discussion? We have the motion, and you seconded, Alan?
Yes.
I think I've made myself pretty
Okay.
clear throughout the meeting.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Mr. Lake?
This is for unfavorable?
Unfavorable.
So a yes vote would be an unfavorable vote.
Correct.
A no vote would be a favorable vote.
Correct.
So if you want to recommend it, you would vote no. If you don't want to recommend it, you vote yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay.
Kevin Robinson says yes.
Mr. Shea says yes.
Ellen Sedillo says yes.
Mary Ellen Williams says yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you need us to sign it? We didn't.
Oh, if you could, thank you.
See it. Still have the flower, I see.
Yes. Next on the agenda this evening, we have Article 9, amend Carver zoning bylaws, Section 290-2-2.6, accessory apartments. Mr. Bott, do you feel it's necessary to read further, or are we just doing some housekeeping on this again?
I think we've essentially got the idea. We're amending the bylaw per the Attorney General's comments. This did go to Town Council. We did get a reply back, so I have Town Council's version on the screen here. It differs from what is in the agenda and in the apportionment. So the things we added from our last meeting were the discussion about, rather than single-family, principal dwellings. So throughout the bylaw, where it used to say single-family, it now says principal dwelling. Town Council had also recommended that this portion here, we talked about the record keeping, should be stricken because she says it's not zoning, it's just a regulatory framework. So Town Council's comments were essentially, yeah, principal's fine, you don't necessarily need that in the bylaw. And she did have a question about what is this reference to 2-2-7C. That's just something that's in the chart under what are the design requirements for residential over commercial. So it doesn't really pertain to this, but because the chart, the current chart has that language in it, I just plugged it into the bylaw just so people would understand what that footnote was per se.
Okay, very good.
So I guess if the board wants to discuss it more, they certainly can. We've got a public here to take your questions from, but I would venture to say that the board's eventual motion might be moved to approve as amended by Town Council.
Correct, very good. Anyone on the board have any comments about this?
I just have a question. I'm looking to see where it says single-family zoned are what's eligible for this.
As far as I know, any place you can have a single-family dwelling, you can have an ADU.
Well, the law says it's specific to single-family zoning, so anywhere that single-family zoning is allowed, yes.
So Town Council, the Attorney General has stricken out any language that says single-family. So an ADU...
It says single-family dwellings is what has been struck out.
If I may.
Please, Mr. Bott.
An ADU is treated by the Commonwealth as the same as a house. So any place you can put a house, you can put an ADU. So in the current zoning bylaw, where it says detached single-family dwellings, all those places where you get to put a house, because we call them single-family dwellings here, is where you get to put an ADU. So you can put them in RA, you can put them in general business, you can put them in village. Those are the places you can do an ADU by right in Carver.
Right, because single-family zoning applies there.
Yes.
But what it says here is enabling owners of, principal dwellings to share space and burdens, but as the purpose, I suppose that's the purpose. So I'm just trying to figure out. All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah, it is kind of odd that the Attorney General struck single-family in the zoning. But the Attorney General doesn't say, well, you have to change your residential, because that's not the realm of their, they are lawyers, they are specific to that sort of little bit of turf they're looking at. So,
Well, if we had put single-family zoning instead of single-family dwelling, it probably wouldn't have been struck.
Maybe, maybe not.
And how do we decide who decides what the principal dwelling is in a multifamily? How do we deal with that?
That would be a good question.
so if you have a multifamily, and there is no multifamily, by the way, in Carver,
Oh,
we have duplexes.
yeah.
So if you have a duplex on a house lot, you get an ADU for the lot. If you have a condominium, and there are 20 condos there, and they're on a lot, you can have an ADU. One ADU per lot. If there's 15 houses on a lot, you get one ADU on a lot.
But the question was, who's the principal dwelling in that case? Just the first one to come forward?
Well, the statute says on a lot. It doesn't say principal dwelling. It doesn't say, it's not about who's first. And I would venture to say if you're in a condominium or a multifamily district, you're likely going to have a whole lot more things to deal with than just the building commissioner trying to put an ADU on commonly held property.
Are you asking because it says principal dwelling in number 6?
Well, it's the principal dwelling is eligible for an ADU. A second ADU would require a special permit. That's why.
Yeah, if you get two, you want two ADUs on the same
Right.
property, you got to go to the ZBA.
That's why I was asking what's the principal dwelling?
Yeah, you don't get 8 ADUs for 8 condo units. You get one per lot.
Right, but you gotta say a duplex there. Maybe exclude the condos at some point, or whatever the case may be. Which one's the principal dwelling?
Why does it make a difference?
Only the principal dwelling's eligible. Well, I suppose it's probably semantics.
I think, well, let's put that here much further.
No, that would be a good question as to who's entitled to it.
You just get one.
I'm
Yeah.
only curious because
And
Right.
if 2 people own a duplex and they have different titles, then I guess whoever
Right.
shows up at the building commissioner's
there
office and
first.
has 100K to build an ADU.
Right,
Make a lottery.
yeah, yeah. Early bird. Pretty much, I would have to say so.
Other than that, there's just a typo with the blueprinting on the last page. I might have mentioned it last time, but it's kind of been fixed, but not really.
Where are you at, Connie?
The last section in blue above table of parking requirements, it says estimated value of construction and whether something received any variance.
So that is the reporting that's done by the town to the Commonwealth as part of the law.
I'm just pointing out that there's a typographical error there.
Well, what the town council said is that paragraph that's highlighted right there,
They don't want it.
just delete it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
it was old English or something.
So it's going to look a lot like that in a minute.
Okay.
I will not.
Any other questions from the board? Right. Whereas this is a public hearing, would anyone like to come forward and speak on this matter? No? Could I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make said motion.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Any further discussion? No? Could we get a motion?
I'll make said
A vote.
motion.
With the vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, to close the public hearing. Yes. Mr. Lake?
Aye. Kevin Robinson says aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sedillo says.
Mary Ellen Williams says hi. Hi. Aye. Very good. Any further discussion? No? Could we get a motion? And whether or not this is favorable or unfavorable? Which I believe we're going to.
We're approving amending it though, right?
Yes,
Yes.
the motion would be move to make a favorable recommendation to town meeting of town council's final version of the ADU.
Right.
Motion to approve town council's final edit of Article 9, AD accessory dwelling units.
I'll second that.
Very good. Mr. Lake?
Kevin Robinson says aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sedillo says aye.
Mary Ellen Williams says aye. Very good. Okay, next on the agenda this evening, we have Article 13, to see if the town will vote to change the zoning district of the parcels shown as Assessors Map 124-13, Map 124-15, and Map 125-3A off of Shoestring Road, as shown on the attached copy of a portion of the Assessors Map from residential agricultural to general business, and further to include parcels shown on Assessors Map 124-13, Map 124-15, and Map 125-3A in the planned tourist commercial district and overlay districts, and to amend the zoning map to reflect the reference change.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
Manager Mario and Malloy. Good to see you all.
If you could just sign in, please.
Here on behalf of the applicant, you can introduce yourself while I sign. And as you said, we're looking to amend the zoning map for these parcels from the residential, agricultural to general business, and then extending into the overlay district as well. I know we had talked about this, and the purpose for us is to try to obtain a special permit for the consumption of and sale of alcoholic beverages. I know we had talked about it last week, and a lot of the concerns had to do with it being spot zoning, and so we provided the board with a memo if you had the chance to review it. Why we think this isn't spot zoning is the precedent set by Massachusetts case law, which states that if it serves a legitimate public purpose, then it wouldn't be seen as spot zoning, which we think in this case it does, pursuant to the economic development and the promotion of tourism on this parcels. So we're happy to discuss and we'll go from there.
Very good.
Sure.
Sure.
Hey, everybody. JP Dancero. I'm the operator and resident at 20 Shoestring Road. Nice to see you all. I have a special guest with me tonight. My 16-year-old son is here with Carver High School, future wrestling champion, by the way. Let's hope that happens. And going to take over my role someday at this campground. So he's my best employee. I don't tell him that too often, but he is.
It's on camera now.
Yeah.
It's on record, yeah.
He does a great job, so I guess I got to keep it at that. But to touch on that topic that Troy just said, I was looking back at the records, and I know go back to the early 80s and even late 70s, it's always been a campground. We've pretty much kept that history and tradition out there, and the company's obviously invested a lot of money and time into this project, and it's quite an attraction. I don't know if you've been out there, but it is a world-class resort, and the amenities are what sell and what a lot of people want and what drives tourism. We've done about 25,000 visitors to the property, so it's a pretty substantial number right there and growing. And so to my point, from a competitive advantage and an offering of amenities to our guests that attract people from all over the country now, and even the world, bringing them to Carver, we would ask that you guys give us a favorable rating, a favorable decision on this so we can move forward and offer a full-fledged offering to all of our guests that come to this to this town. You know, and I was just driving by, went to Giorgio's for lunch, and, you know, a lot of companies here, a lot of businesses benefit, and I want to see that continue. And I think with just doing this offers even more people will come to the area, and all the businesses around us will benefit like they have already. And that would just be my ask. Thank you guys for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Anyone on the board? Questions? Comments?
I think there's a significant amount of package stores in the area, and I really don't think another one is necessary. I understand what you're saying, but I think that, I don't think that will encourage more campers, just perhaps more people that enjoy alcohol too much. But I think a campground too there's a lot of children there. So I would not agree with this, I'm sorry to say. I think that we have sufficient amount of stores that sell alcohol and attract business in this area. Thank you.
We're not trying to have a package store, I just want to be clear.
I know.
mean, we're not, that's not the intent.
Right.
JP, you have to tell them who you are when you say something.
JP Dancer, Cranberry Acres, yeah. So the intent is not to have a package store,
I
or liquor
understand.
store. You know, we sell food there now, so does that compete with the local dairy stores and Cumberland Farms and Dave's? And so candy bars, you know, chips, and we sell it all, right? Retail, but we don't compete with other places. So I think it's along the same vein, so I respectfully will disagree with that as well. But it is an amenity. It is something that folks do want. They don't want to have to leave if they don't want to. If there's an opportunity that they can, after a long day, just grab a quick beverage while they're there, it's a convenience. We have a lot of other campgrounds across the country, and it's a big part of the industry. And again, if we want this property to be the premier campground in New England, it's something that we should have.
I had asked you last time, you do serve, you do not serve, but you allow people to consume alcohol on the premises, correct?
On their campsites, yes.
On their campsite. So you're just looking to sell it and for an accommodation, but of which, of course, you would make a profit, and I understand that. But would you be allowing outsiders to come in?
No, ma'am. You have to be a guest of the resort.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be a guest. We have wristbands. We know who's our guest, who's not. But yes, you have to be a guest of the campground.
So to clarify my understanding, we're not the liquor control board or any kind, we're the planning board last I checked. If a zoning change was made to enable you to do that, it would be in the form of a restaurant license and that sort of thing. Well, a license of a restaurant to serve a licensed establishment, rather than that's not a package store, so.
No. Yeah, it would be an establishment that's less
you gotta
than,
tell
oh, sorry,
them who you
Troy
are.
Canton, Murray, Beal, Illinois. It'd be an establishment, as you said, it has to be less than 5,000
I couldn't
square
remember the
feet
phrase,
to
but I
be
believe licensed
in that.
establishment is the old, the old standard.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we currently have 2 food permits at the property, a food truck and a pizza operation that we run, but nothing sells alcohol at this point.
I mean, I've heard wonderful things about it. You know, people have come back and tell me that they really enjoyed themselves there.
We're pretty close. A lot of the construction's over with, so now we can focus on.
Well, the other thing that's my concern is that area is a tough area anyways to get in and out of. And I just think that people that are drinking that might want to leave, they might be a little bit too intoxicated to make a safe turn on that area street.
To your point, that I would prefer if they stay on the property than go to a place down the road and get some and drive. They should stay right where they're at, and we can make sure that they don't leave if they are drunk. You know, so there's a lot of responsibility. Obviously, we understand that. There's a big liability. We understand that. But at the same time, I'd rather be in control of that situation than not in control of it. So as a matter of fact, we try to discourage people from bringing their own alcohol. If they know it's available there, they probably won't bring their own alcohol. But, you know, that's the nature of the business we're in.
Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Can I just get an idea of what the scope of this is going to be at Jellystone? Or is it going to be like a cooler full of beers? Is it going to be a couple boxes of nips? What exactly
No, there'd be
is
no
the
nips,
operation? What exactly is What will you be selling there?
Our vision is beer and wine,
Yeah.
a simple selection. We're talking maybe, we have 6 freezers there, like 6 walk-in fridges. Maybe one section would be dedicated to, 4 or 5 selections of beer, a couple selections of wine, maybe those small little mixed drinks that come in the little jars, but it's not gonna be any kind of liquor or nips or hard alcohol or, Jack Daniels or anything like that, no. This is simply going to be beer and wine for the most part.
And a restaurant? You mentioned restaurant before.
Ideally, down the road, we'd love to get a full restaurant on the property which could serve alcohol. I mean, that's a future plan. But right now, this would be a retail license only for our store.
For beer and wine?
That's correct. And frankly, that's all we'd want at this point. We don't want to get into, we're not trying to compete or be a liquor store. And even if the food and beverage operation someday allows, we'd keep the same premise with beer and wine only.
How many people are actually there at full capacity?
At any given time on a weekend, if we're sold out during peak season, 22 to 2,500 people.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
people.
That is a lot of people.
And a lot of those are children of mine, but that's, that's the total number for like a Saturday, Friday, Saturday night, sold out, peak time.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. That's good.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the board? No?
Just trying to think of it. No, go ahead.
No? Whereas this is a public hearing, if anyone from the public would like to speak?
Karen Lapham again. I've camped for 40 years. I bring my own alcohol and beverage. I had a young friend that drowned because his father was drinking at a beach many years ago. So I take presents to, I don't know, you can have fun with your family without alcohol, but we're asking us to change a zoning law, a zoning rule too, and I'm all about cranberry bogs in the town of Carver, so thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
That's
Anyone
kind of
else?
What I was gonna say, like, we're changing the zoning for, yeah,
Right.
for it.
Right.
But we're not changing, sorry, George Andrew, but we're not changing the use. The use is the use right now. This is just supplementing.
The use is the use right now.
Right.
But if we change the zoning, there's no telling what the use will
I
be down the
understand
road.
that, but
That's the
that's not
concern, I
current.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have a concern also with
Your name,
how,
please.
it's Karen Lapham again. I would have a concern with how you're running your store, availability with, I know a lot of the young kids in town work up at that place, and kudos to all of that, but I would be concerned about them even having the peer pressure of being around alcohol when they're at their little summer job. That's just my thought too.
Yeah, so JP Densero, again, those concerns we share, ma'am, is running any business. Whether you have it or you don't, a lot of those temptations still arise.
I understand that.
People leave it out on their campsite, and we gotta tell them to put it away. Anything could happen, with or without that part of the business. But it's noted, I hear you, it is something we deal with. Obviously, adult supervision is required by law, and the store would have that while operating hours there. Everything's under lock and key. It's just like we deal with money every day. It's the same kind of thing, to be a temptation maybe to steal money. But that doesn't happen because we supervise it, and that's our business, and that's what we do. And we do it well. And again, it's not something we take lightly, or else we wouldn't be going through this with you. Because at the end of the day, it's not a huge amount of money at this point, so down the road, it could be a substantial piece of business, but again, as we grow and we become a world attraction and we become a resort, it's something that should be offered, and I hate to see business go down the road to Normandy Farms or out to the Cape or up to Plymouth because they have it and we do not, or New Hampshire for that matter. And to that point, we'd like to keep people on the campground if possible. So they don't have to go out and drive and take up the roads and maybe get in an accident, or what it be, or while they're there, grab a bottle of Jack Daniels or a bottle of hooch or something and come back and get really liquored up. So again, there's reasons behind all this too, about what we'd offer and why we would offer it. And again, it wouldn't be a huge selection, but it's noted.
Mr. Densero, What year, if you remember, what year did you begin operations?
This is our 5th year, sir.
Okay, so 20, yeah, 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Bott?
And does anybody on the board know what year the planned tourist commercial district zoning was created? I remember when it happened, but I don't know what year it was.
What, I can't hear you, Mr.
What year the planned tourist commercial district zoning was created in the zoning bylaws? I don't remember what year it was created. I remember.
Probably for Edaville Railroad, so.
No, well, when? Do you know what year? I mean, it was.
I don't have that information.
Yeah. I was curious whether that existed at the time these guys began operations. Maybe a question not an answer right now. Just kind of mulling that over in my own mind.
Yeah, so speaking to what might happen in the future as additional development on the site, you know, we've done 3 site plans for Jellystone since I've gotten here. The initial one was we're going to do all this stuff, so we had to pare that back to the expansion of the campground to add to the cabins and into the water park. So at some point, if they want to do something else, much like the things that are out there now, they've got to come back to the planning board for at least site plan review, if not a special permit for whatever else they might want to do on the site.
Okay.
So at this point, they're just asking to change the zoning, but if somebody wants to, has designs for a restaurant or whatever in the future, that comes back to the planning board, and obviously it's through the other boards for permitting for
Right.
that as well.
Understood. Yep. Anyone else from the public? No?
Patty Cooney, 5 Canterbury Path. So in the memo that he put to you guys, that explains to you that it isn't site zoning? And is that what?
Spot
zoning?
zoning.
Yeah. So does that make you guys feel more comfortable with approving? the
It's
zoning?
arguable.
It's what?
It is arguable.
Okay.
It's certainly quite informative.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, that's a, I mean, I understand where they're talking about is having people stay on the property. Alcohol and water is nerve-wracking, but like you said, people already bring it there anyways. And if it's not technically spot, you know, the zoning issue, then, you know, that's a hard decision. We'll leave it up to you guys, definitely.
Not against like people making money, but at the same time, you know, we have to, you know, follow the.
I would not be surprised if town council fielded a question like that at town meeting, if someone was to say, is this spot zoning? So we may hear from town council officially.
Okay.
But I think the general gist is, if it is within the public safety and healthy, and it is largely debatable, then that's sort of the standard that we've seen from the letters from the AG, from the zoning handbook that I submitted things for. So it's one of those, and I said I tried to find a less technical description of it, and I was not very successful at it.
Okay.
So I would venture to say that I wouldn't be surprised if somebody asked town council that question at
Okay.
town meeting.
Very good. Anyone else in the public?
I just have one more quick question, JP Dancero again. Can someone share with me, maybe you guys can, is King Richard's Fair, I mean, what are they zoned over there? They're not too far from us, obviously. What is their zoning that allows them to have the amount of alcohol that they have on property during their festival?
As far as I know, they are in the planned commercial overlay district, but I believe that the underlying zoning is RA, because 86% of the town is. So I'm going to look at that in just a second here.
Thank you.
I'm a spelling machine, aren't I? So yes, that looks an awful lot like Edaville, doesn't it? Or we're calling it these King Richard's Fair. That is in the tourist commercial overlay district, and it appears as though the underlying zoning is RA. That sounds comparable to your development, and I'm not sure what the difference is from the liquor perspective. maybe it's one-day liquor licenses or for special events or something like that.
Don't they get like temporary one, or don't they, or do they?
I don't know, those are issued through the select board.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Any other questions from the public? No? Could I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing for Article 13 rezoning of Jellystone Park.
I'll second that.
Very good. Mr. Lake?
Aye. Kevin Robinson says aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sodillo says aye.
Mary Ellen Williams says aye. Does the board have any further discussion?
Yeah, I brought it up before, but the town has no legitimate planning purpose to approve this. It's not, the town doesn't have in the master plan or any plans to create a general business zone or a tourist overlay district in that area. I do not believe this is going to be uniform within the district of the surrounding district around it. And I don't believe this is related to public health, safety, convenience, or welfare in regards to this. It doesn't solve any public problem or public welfare objectives, and it's not consistent with adjacent developments. I just think that it would be a poor decision because the town could be left holding this, and the road that leads in there is very, it's a small road to begin with, and we wouldn't approve any sort of business on a road like that, so how are we going to start approving green, business zones and tourist industry there, so.
Right.
Also, I feel it would certainly hurt the surrounding businesses.
Correct, yeah. Anyone else on the board? No? All right. Should we vote to
Close the public hearing, correct?
close the public hearing?
We did already.
Okay, so I would,
But whether or not we want to support the article?
So I make a move to not recommend the rezoning of Jellystone to planned tourist district or general business, which is Article number 13.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right. Mr. Lake?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sodillo says aye.
Mary Ellen Williams says aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bott, do you have any notes?
Only that we will be meeting again in a week. We'll be meeting in 1, and we'll be having a hearing about the MBT zoning bylaw.
Very good.
Fun times.
Have we had a chance to adjust the map to show open space area requirements in regards to that parcel? Or?
We will wait to hear from Barrett Planning on mapping in the zone.
Very good. Anything else?
Oh, yeah.
That's it?
Reminder that town meeting is October 7th
Yes.
at Carver Town Hall at what time?
Do you know, Mr. Bott?
I get there early, so people show up
Right.
after I'm there.
Right.
Do I want to say 6:30? Let's see if we got information about this as well. There's so much things on the internet.
It should probably be 6, I would think.
I thought it was 6:30,
I
but
thought it was 6:30 also.
Oh, okay.
About 6:45.
I don't want people showing up a half hour late.
No,
Because
correct.
it's not school vacation, and it will give people an opportunity, even though
Right.
it is a Tuesday night. It is a special town meeting and likely to not contain 30 or 40 articles, although I'm starting to wonder already, so.
Good point. All right.
Maybe we need a liquor license. Town meeting.
Temporary.
Yeah, one night,
Gee,
Well, we might get more people in there.
That's my suggestion. Have another weekend, one free beer, after that you pay.
not easily accessible, Mr. Bott.
We're working on it, here we go.
All right.
We'll begin at 6:30.
6:30?
Special town meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 7th at the Middle High School Auditorium, located at 60 South Meadow, beginning at 6:30 PM.
Very good.
Be there, be square.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
aye.
And third.
That's everybody.
Yes. Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Shea says aye.
Ellen Sedillo says aye.
Marilyn Williams says aye. Have a good evening.
Yeah.